It's CNN Sports at 6:40 tonight. Stay tuned now for the AFN Evening News.
From our studios in Frankfurt, Germany, this is the AFN Evening News.
Good evening. The Department of Defense has heard the complaints about military health care in Europe during drawdown and promises help. Dr. Edward Martin, Acting Assistant Secretary of Defense for Health Affairs, wound up a series of town hall meetings in Germany and Italy with an out briefing in Belgium. He told AFN he'll order $2 to $5 million for the medical command in Europe to spend where they see specific problems, and promised to look at backfilling empty slots with doctors and nurses from stateside military hospitals. 7th Medical Command's 421st Medical Evacuation Battalion was recognized as the top combat service support aviation battalion in the Army today in ceremonies in Wiesbaden, Germany.
Do here at this moment.
The prestigious Major General Ellis Parker Award was presented to Major General Michael Scotty, the commander of the 7th Medical Command, and Lieutenant Colonel Charles Davis, the 421st Commander, at ceremonies in the Wiesbaden Air Base Theater. The presentation is a first for the 421st and the Parker Award itself. The award was initiated last year, and the 7th MedCom unit is the first to receive it. The award will be presented annually to the Army's top aviation battalion in 4 categories: combat, combat support, combat service support, and table of distribution and allowance units. Presenting the award was Major General John Robinson, the commander of the Army Aviation Center and School at Fort Rucker, Alabama.
This is a proud day for this battalion, and you ought to not think any less than being enormously proud of what you've achieved, because your record is well respected and known across the Army, and I don't say that loosely. I was here a year ago, a little more than a year ago, and had an opportunity to be briefed by your commander and the staff and so forth. And I could sense, even at that time, an organization that was very special. A difficult mission because you're fragmented out all over this theater and indeed to other places, and that's not easy. It means that soldiers have got to do what's right, even when senior leadership is not there. And that shows a strong unit.
Recent political developments and upheaval in Russia has not changed U.S. military evaluations of the situation there. But USAREUR Commander-in-Chief General David Maddox told ABC News that a lot of European leaders have been surprised by the goings-on in Moscow.
2 incidents. One was the firing on the White House, and the other the recent election, and the rhetoric that has come out of that. That has really caused a lot of our European allies to sort of be shocked from the euphoria of everything being nicer than the Cold War. And I think the reality of how quickly things can change, as long as capabilities remain, has really been highlighted. I think it's too early to say what physical actions might be taken as a result of it, but I think it has clearly alerted people to the fact that there is instability. There still is one heck of a lot of military capability around, and all it takes is someone to go tell it what you want it to go do. So I think that has occurred, but I don't think that we have changed our planning as a result of it. But I think it is very critical as to what the total NATO force commitment is and what our presence is as part of that.
U.S. Air Force medical teams in the Persian Gulf War lacked training, supplies, and radio equipment to handle anticipated casualties. That according to a General Accounting Office report released this week. They found medical teams working with supplies dating to the 1950s, radios that could not reach combat units in need of ambulances, and staffers ill-trained to treat war casualties. Many of the problems assessed in the report have long since been addressed by the Air Force, which controlled medical evacuations. The study covered Air Force medical operations in the Gulf War region, as well as staff in Europe deployed to help in medical evacuation. Because the size of the American military forces decreases daily, new ways of accomplishing various aspects of the military's mission are emerging. The philosophies behind such terms as drawdown, quality control, and voluntary separation incentives have brought about a new way of handling operations around the world. Airman Melissa Bacorn files this report.
The days of military services working individually during operations such as provide comfort and provide promise are gone. In their stead, the Joint Operations Task Force has emerged. bringing the Air Force, Navy, and Army forces together in a purple suit unit. Each service has unique ways of performing common tasks, and blending them into a common unit poses a challenge.
Because you've got 3 services here, all of which have sent us the very best people they have to offer. So the challenge is not getting a high-quality product put together. The challenge is to make the maximum use of all of the skills that we have available to us. And it's, like I say, that's an enviable position to be in, is to try to mold these folks all together.
Colonel O'Rell says the task has been made easier through the professionalism of the personnel.
Because the people come in here, they know they're coming into a joint operation by the very nature that they're coming into a purple outfit. And their attitudes are such that they know that they're going to have to give a little and they're going to take a little, and we all learn from this sort of thing. So the attitudes have made it very, very easy.
Colonel O'Rell adds that the DeSoto personnel's attitude of pride, determination, and teamwork is a key factor in their successful support of operations around the world. Reporting from San Vito Air Station, I'm Airman Melissa Bacorn, AFN News.
The United States Senate Youth Program gives high school students an opportunity to learn about the U.S. federal government firsthand. Army Sergeant Pat McGuire visited one of the students who will represent Dodge at this year's session in Washington, D.C.
Krishna Gidwani, a senior at Birchburg American High School, will spend the first week of February in Washington, D.C. He'll be one of 54 high school seniors taking part in the U.S. Senate Youth Program.
2 delegates from each state, 2 delegates from Washington, D.C., and 2 delegates from Dodge Worldwide are selected to attend. It's basically designed to introduce high school leaders to the nation's governmental system, give you an introduction to the 3 branches of government and other aspects of the federal system.
Krishna participates in his school Model Senate program, the Model United Nations program, as well as several other academic activities, and runs track and cross country. He's also the Student Council president. Being involved in student government was one of the many selection requirements.
And we had to take a 2-hour examination after school. And a few weeks after that, I was notified that I had one of the top 8 scores in Germany. After that, I had to go for an interview in Wiesbaden, Dodge regional office. And after the interview was completed, a few weeks later, I got a letter in the mail saying I was selected.
While in Washington, D.C., Krishna will visit the Pentagon, the House of Representatives and the Senate while in session, and the U.S. Supreme Court. Krishna says he's really looking forward to the trip.
I feel it's a tremendous opportunity for me. I've always been interested in the government of our country, and this will give me the opportunity to witness it firsthand.
Krishna says he's looking forward to meeting some of our nation's leaders and asking them about the country's pressing issues. Army Sergeant Pat McGuire, AFN News.
President Clinton's European trip has taken him through both Western and Eastern Europe and will take him to Minsk, Belarus tomorrow. But before he headed east, he was in Belgium for the NATO conference. During his time in Belgium, he was presented with a gift that appeals to his musical taste. Army Sergeant Bo Bennett explains.
While President Clinton was busy dealing with other leaders during the NATO summit, he was able to take some time and see the sights and meet with service members and their families stationed near Shape and Brussels. On one such visit, the president received a special surprise.
In the name of city of Dinan, I have the honor to give to the President of USA an instrument of sax, the saxophone.
In case you didn't understand it, Dinan, Belgium is the home of Adolphe Sax, the man who invented the saxophone. And this says, Adolphe Sax, 1814 to 1894, to Bill Clinton, President of the United States. And it says something else, but my glasses are not here.
After the presentation, members of the crowd made their feelings known. But the crowd couldn't sway the president in playing, so they listened to the U.S. Army Band in Europe while shaking his hand. Reporting from Brussels, Belgium, I'm Army Sergeant Bo Bennett, AFN News.
The president's visit to Belarus may hold a surprise for some soldiers of the 7th MedCom. They are in Minsk in preparation for delivery of excess DoD hospital equipment. They have received word that the First Lady is due to visit the pediatric hospital, receiving the equipment. Time now for a look at our weather forecast with Tech Sergeant Salinda Larabee.
The weather in Europe was not perfect by any stretch of the imagination today, but it certainly could have been a lot worse. The primary weather producer was the frontal system slicing its way through Europe. There is another wave of moisture moving in over the weekend, but right now it's not packing a big punch. Well, in the Middle East today, the frontal system affecting you certainly did pack a big punch with rain showers and thunderstorms reported from Israel northward. But at least some of you should dry out tomorrow, because for your Saturday forecast, the only areas in the Middle East that can expect a good chance for rain will be just over Greece and northwestern Turkey. But as far to the south as Kuwait, you'll see additional clouds with just the slightest chance for rain. And don't worry, you'll be back to normal on Sunday, because for your forecast, all areas with the exception of extreme eastern Turkey can expect a return of fair to partly cloudy skies. Well, let's head back toward Europe, where a few of us enjoyed a few hours of sun today. Indeed, most of the rain stayed right along the frontal boundary, although there were just a few hit-and-miss showers everywhere else. In northern Italy and Croatia tonight, you can all expect to pick up a slight chance for rain as the frontal system edges towards you, and it looks like you in Zagreb could have a wet day tomorrow. For Europe's Saturday forecast, the best chances of seeing any rain in the south will be just over central Italy and the former Yugoslavia. In England, you can expect to see some rain moving in as the day goes on. In Central Europe, you will keep a slight chance for a passing shower, but overall, expect a fairly nice day. But it's too good to last, so let's look at Sunday's forecast. The frontal system coming in will indeed bring a return of the rain and cooler temperatures to Central Europe. In Macedonia, you'll keep the absolute honor of the best chance for rain throughout Europe. In Croatia, you can expect a foggy, cloudy day. And to end this on a very good note, at least for you in Italy and in southern Spain, you shouldn't see a return of the rain until nighttime Sunday. But let's take a look at your Saturday forecast. A very special greeting goes out to all of you deployed to Antwerp, Belgium from Schinnen, the Netherlands, in support of Prepo Afloat. Whether you're working on the docks or off tomorrow, either way, you'll enjoy the weather. It will be the nicest day of the entire weekend. And keep in mind, the 54th BSB is behind you 100%. Have a wonderful weekend.
There's a weekend of football, basketball, and ice skating ahead on both AFN radio and television. It all starts off tomorrow morning at 2 on AFN TV with the NBA. The LA Clippers going against the Boston Celtics. All these times are Central European times. Tomorrow evening, both AFN radio and television will bring you the National Football League playoffs. Game 1 is at 6:30 and features the Los Angeles Raiders and the Buffalo Bills. Game 2 starts right after that one, and we'll see the New York Giants take on the San Francisco 49ers. Early Sunday morning at 2, AFN TV will present ice skating with the United States Figure Skating Championship. Then Sunday night at 6:30, it's more pro football playoff action on both AFN radio and television. Game 1 will see the Green Bay Packers meet the Dallas Cowboys. The second game of that playoff doubleheader will feature Kansas City meeting Houston. That's the schedule. Hope you enjoy it. Milt Fitzwater, AFN Sports.
Since women began serving in the military, they've been successful at the highest levels. But in the history of the Air Force, only one woman has made it to the top of the linguistic career field. Senior Airman Brett Baker has a look at the female linguist who made it to the top.
In just 15 short years, Chief Master Sergeant Susan Douglas has climbed to the top of her career field. During that time, she became the first female linguist to attain the rank of chief. Despite this remarkable achievement, she is quick to share the spotlight.
I think probably more than the fact that it's amazing that I made chief this fast. It's probably just amazing that I was fortunate to have such support all the way through. I'm living proof that the system works if supervisors do what they're supposed to.
Chief Douglas now sees herself as a role model for women in her career field.
Now, when I was coming up through the ranks, there weren't any women. The highest ranking woman probably I ever saw for years was a staff sergeant. So it's a good feeling.
While most of the work she does is secret and can't be talked about, it's no secret that Chief Douglas is one of a kind. Senior Airman Brett Baker, Air Force News, RAF Chicksanes, the United Kingdom.
Living conditions for single soldiers in Europe are improving under the new Quality of Life program. AFN Specialist Deborah Cravey has the story.
These people are discussing how barracks rooms in Italy and other parts of Europe may soon take on a whole new look. The new Quality of Life program, designed with the single soldier in mind, sets out to make living quarters more comfortable. And the Engineer Logistics Center in Gießen, Germany, is helping to facilitate that transformation.
Well, we're here to see the Engineering Logistics Support Center display for single soldiers' furnishings. They're products from GSA contracts, and they have different displays set up from the different vendors.
The soldiers from Vicenza, Italy paid a visit to the Gießen Army Depot to take a look at the furniture being considered. They came to pick out an eye-pleasing decor and to test the furniture's sturdiness.
Bottom line design of them are good. They just need to improve them and think about how much space is authorized to us lower enlisted people. Now, the designs are great for the upper enlisted because they've got 2 times as much room and they can put more furniture in there to get the more space. But for us, you know, I'm not even sure if the new furniture is going to fit within the parameters of our room.
Some of these window shoppers were even surprised at the non-traditional look of the furnishings.
Most of the things in the barracks are brown, like the color of that table, and you wouldn't have this type of design on it for one thing. And you would not have you definitely wouldn't have this carpet on the floor. You would not have a machine washer, which they have here.
The data gathered on this fact-finding trip will be used to determine just what furniture will find a new home in Vicenza. And as the European Command continues to fulfill the quality of life standards, more locations may see renovations in the future. Specialist Deborah Cravey, AFN News.
First there was the singing nun, and then the flying nun, and now European Journal's Joan Zach Nelson tells us the latest non-standard nun trait, or should we say sister act.
She weaves her wheels just like one of the kids. The kids have one word for her.
Cool and cool.
She is Sister Teresa Zukic, a 29-year-old Vincentian nun. Her mission is helping children in a problem neighborhood of Hanau.
I had children who have sexual abuse. I have children who had no father. I have children who have never one day who can say it was fine to live. And that children are my children.
The kids come to break dance, play basketball, and find solace in her many gifts.
Sister Teresa says either skateboarding is one of God's gifts or it's not. And she's been obviously gifted in many sports, and it runs in the family. She was a champion track star, and her father, a professional soccer player.
The family moved to Germany from their native Croatia when she was 6. Raised an atheist, she found religion at 19. For some, a skateboarding nun may be unconventional, but she believes she's following in Christ's footsteps.
Jesus is not sitting in Jerusalem and wait that people come to him. Jesus is going to the people.
She makes no demands, but the kids respond. They come to church, maybe just to sing or be together, but they seem to get the message someone loves them. Sister Teresa is beautiful, fun, and nice, says Diane, whose father, like several of her friends, was an American GI. I'm an altar boy, says Michael. Is that because of Sister Teresa? But for the girls, being an altar boy is out, and so is being a nun. Would you like to become a nun?
Nine.
It's boring. But Sister Teresa doesn't mind. She says for her there is no other calling. She believes she's part of the advanced team of a church ready to change. Joan Zach Nelson, European Journal, Hanau, Germany.
And that's our newscast for this Friday. Have a good night.